part 2 of my coronavirus vaccine is a scam bullshit. I didn't get to finish the first video because somebody showed up. I had more points to make in it. That's why when I posted it, I put it up as part 1 because I never quite finished what I had to say. And now when I was talking about the human nature of fear and all that, and basically the point I was trying to make with it was that's what the governments and the powers that be, these 0.01 percenters, the fucking owners of all the corporations, and that's what they're going for, is fear. They're pushing the fear in order to push their vaccine and lockdowns and the shutdown of small businesses and all the bullshit that's going on in the world right now. This is worldwide. This isn't just Canada, it's not just the US, it's not just North America, it's going on everywhere. Some countries are even getting it worse than we are, some not as bad, but it's happening everywhere. And I've watched a bunch more videos since. I just watched one by a doctor, like a big head doctor, a head of some fucking medical thing. I don't know how that shit works, but he was a real dude. He said his name, he said his PhD, all this shit that he had. And he straight up said that the lockdowns and the shutting down of businesses and the masks and the mandates and shit are all a crock of shit and they don't work. And he didn't finish what he was saying because I think the video cut off early. I don't know. Maybe that or I just didn't get to see it all for some reason. But what it all boils down to is the money. I talked about this in the last video, that money equals power, and the power is the human condition that we all strive for, to have control over our lives and control over everything around us because of our fear of death. We can't control death, so we control everything else. And the fact that the more power and the more money you get, the more greedy you get and the more you want, and then it just goes on and on, it snowballs. And that's these big elites, these I don't know the proper terminology for them, but I call them the elites. The ones with all the money that own the world, basically. That own me, they own you, they own everything. The guys that own the big companies, the Amazons, the Walmarts, the freaking, Facebook, all that shit. And it's not just the public faces either. I'm not talking just Mark Zuckerberg or... Why can I never remember his name? The guy that owns fucking Amazon. I'm going to Google this so I know, so I say it in the video. Who owns Amazon?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Yes, he's one of them. It's not just them, but it's their affiliates. They're the public faces. They're the ones we know about. We don't know about the rest of them. Well, I mean, you could dig in. You could probably find out. You could probably do some research and figure out who they all are. They're the richest people in the world. It's out there, but they're not as public, right? So anyways, it's all about the money. Which equals power. Same shit. I just did a little bit of quick research before I made this video. And since this pandemic and all these lockdowns and all this bullshit going on around the world started, so in like 2020, 2021, I just did a quick Google search and just did a bit of reading here. And Pfizer, the company that's making the main, I gotta do this, vaccine, it's not even a vaccine, they, in 2021, so far, it's not even over, we're only in October, have made $30 billion off of this vaccine, and their campaign with it, they're pushing it on everybody. And Amazon, in 2020, because of everybody having to stay home and everybody turns to online shopping, they made $54 billion in the year 2020. That's Jeff Bezos. His net worth went up that much. And he is now the richest man in the world. He was tied or just below somebody else before, I can't remember. But he is the absolute richest man in the world, by far now, because of this. Walmart, here's one. In 2019, before the pandemic, their net profits, this is what they report online, I think it's probably higher, but I'll go with this number. 2019, Walmart made almost $7.2 million profit. I think it's more than that myself, honestly, but then in 2020, it goes from 7 up to $15.2 million. And then so far in 2021, the year's not over, we got a couple months left, they're at $13.7 million. That's these big box stores, the ones that are staying open. Well, all these other businesses are being forced to close down and to ask for fucking vax passports and do all these shit that they didn't have to do before, hiring people to fucking wipe everything down and buying all these cleaning supplies and fucking, you know, all these shit that they have to do. These small companies that can't afford this stuff. They can't afford to lose customers. They can't afford to fucking turn people away. You know, they're losing money. Businesses are getting shut down. And I talked about this in the last video about the only competition to these rich guys, the leaders of the world, is the up and coming businesses, the up and coming rich guys. So the you know, say that somebody that has $100 million and he's got a mid-sized fucking corporation, but he doesn't have billions of dollars, and you know, that's their only competition. And they're trying to shut all this shit down. They're trying to fucking close the gap or widen the gap even further. Basically, is what it is. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's an old fucking saying. I know it's like cliche, but it's true. It is true. It's been happening for millennia, and it's just hit overdrive. This whole fucking thing. I'm sure you've heard the term the Great Reset, and you know, New World Order. You know, all this conspiracy crazy shit. Well, it's a real thing. It's happening. It's happening right in front of us. It has been happening for years. It's not. This isn't new. It's just that this whole pandemic has been the perfect excuse, the perfect, I don't know, the perfect happening, the perfect, I can't think right now, man, my brain's all foggy. But anyways, they're exploiting it, is what it comes down to. They're exploiting this pandemic. They're blowing it way out of proportion. Like I said in the last fucking video, I'm not saying COVID doesn't exist. It's out there. People get sick. Some people die. It's a thing, but it's being way over fucking publicized, like extreme. You can't turn on a TV or a radio or any mainstream media source at all anymore without hearing or seeing something about getting the vaccine and washing your hands and staying home, blah, 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 all this crap. It's everywhere. You can't miss it. It doesn't matter. And the reason for it is they're all owned. Again, this comes down to the money. The money and the power. But I'll just use money because it's the same thing. I'll say money. All these corporations are all owned by the same guys, and it's big tech also. So the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram and the, you know, mainstream news, you know, the CNN, the fucking ABC, here in Canada, CBC, Global. They're all owned by these same fucking guys that basically own our governments. And they own all these big corporations, which are making billions of dollars right now. Sorry, I'm still getting over being sick. But anyways. And it's all being pushed on purpose. There's a bigger agenda behind this all. A way bigger agenda that most people either are just too ignorant to see it, or they are afraid to accept it, because it threatens their comfy, fucking, worry-free, happy life. Oh, I can't fight against that. The corporations are too big. No, I'm just going to accept it all and fucking go on with my life and jump through their hoops and stay home when they tell me to, and don't shop there and don't shop here and get a fucking jab in me that I don't know what's in it, just to appease them and so I can live a normal life. It's a crock of shit, because the normal life has been gone for a while now, and it's not going to come back. All these rights we're losing over all this shit they're taking away. They're changing amendments. They're putting amendments into like the criminal code and in ethics codes and even in the basic human rights, like the Charter of Rights and what are they called in the States? Plead the Fifth and all that shit. Fuck, I can't think right now. But all that, it's all getting amended all over the world. This isn't just local. And they're slowly but surely pushing through these new bills and these new laws and changing things and making it so they can stop people from going places because of not having a vaccine. And right now they're calling it a mandate because they haven't quite made it a law yet. But eventually it will be. It will become a law. And people like me, us unvaxxed, us crazy fucking conspiracy bastards that are killing the rest of the world, we're going to be fucking shunned out of society. It's already started to happen. I've already lost friends on Facebook over this. I've already had some arguments with family over it. I've been looked down upon. I've been called all kinds of stupid shit on Facebook. And, you know, that we're the problem. We're killing everybody because we're on back, so we're spreading it. Crock of shit, because even the vaccine can fucking contract and transmit it. It's been proven. So all the vaccine does, I said this before, is make you not get quite as sick. You might not even show symptoms. You might be able to just, you don't go to the hospital. You don't get put on a ventilator. Blah, blah. That's all the vaccine does. But you can still fucking spread it to the people around you. It doesn't change that fact. And you have to keep getting these boosters. That's the kicker. You can't just get the one vaccine and expect it to work, because the one vaccine is for the old variant. And then there's new variants coming out all the time. We're on like the fourth one now. And it's just going to keep changing and changing. And the reason why the new variants are coming out is because of these ineffective vaccines. I've explained this in the last video. It's not killing the virus. It's just basically chasing it off out of your body to the next person. And then it mutates. But I'm not going to get all into that again. I already did that. This one's all about the money. These profits are just ridiculous. All these smaller companies, small mom and pop shops right up to mid-size, like municipal or even provincial companies, the ones that aren't really big but getting there, we're all losing money. Like, I run my own business, and luckily I've been lucky. I escaped it. Because I work for myself and I do what the fuck I want. That's part of it. But also, like, I sell things that people want, especially with the lockdowns that went on last year and everything, and people being stuck at home. I sell dirt bikes, snowmobiles, quads, that kind of shit. And I did good. I did really good. 2020 was my best year ever. 2021 is just as good. I'm making decent money, and it's because everybody's stuck at home and they got extra money in their pockets because of the fucking government handouts and shit. And they can't do anything else. They can't go to the movies. Well, now they can if they got the vaccine, but I'm talking last year. They can't do all these other things, and they were told to stay home and stay out of public and all this, so everybody was buying stuff. So I was doing good. I'm an exception. I got lucky just because of what I chose to do for a living. But all these other companies, like small mom and pop shops for, to go buy trinkets and buy, health food stores even, like, they're fucking being threatened. And basically any business, any company that isn't owned by the Jeff Bezos and the fucking Mark Zuckerbergs and the other unnamed guys up there. I point up there because they think they're above me. I should be pointing down there, really, but and it's all about power and control and population control. It's to put fear into us and make us reliant on them, reliant on the government, reliant on these big tech companies, reliant on Pfizer for this fucking vaccine, which is bullshit. I've been hearing more and more bad things about it every day. Every video I watch is fucking something new, some new nurse or doctor or scientist that comes forward, and real people, not made up, not fake shit, and it's on online fucking streaming news services. Like, there's a few different ones I watch. I can't remember. There's a bunch of them anyways. There's lots. There's hundreds of them if you look it up. Some of them are bullshit. Some of them are just obviously clickbait, but some of them are legit, and they've been around for a few years too. But the difference between them and, like, say, CNN or CBC is they aren't owned by these same corporations. They aren't paid to being told what to say and what not to say and what to cover up. The big fucking tech and big media, mainstream media, is all owned, and they do what they're told. They get handed down from the up top saying, okay, this is a narrative you need to push. You need to scare people and tell them about this. We'll give you bonuses if you report on this side of the fucking equation, but not on that one. Anything about that subject there goes against our narrative, or says that, vaccines are bad, or, COVID isn't as bad as it's being fucking portrayed. You can't put those. You're not allowed. Anybody you interview that talks about that, you have to cut that out of it. And it's happening. I don't care if you believe me or not. You can tell me I'm fucking crazy. You can threaten me. I don't give a fuck. It's happening. And the reason why is the money. Money equals corruption. I said this in the last video. The more money that there is involved in something, the more corruption there is. And the more money to be made and to be had into, the more control a certain entity, a certain person can get out of something, the more corrupt it's going to be. These rich guys, these fucking elites, they own the court systems. Maybe not all of it, but they have judge friends, and they have MP friends, and they're friends with the president, and they're friends, they donate money. They donate money to whatever fucking Biden for his campaigning. That's a big one. They make political donations for campaigning. You know, but it's like in the hundreds of millions of dollars sometime. Maybe not that much, but at least tens of millions. We'll say it's a bunch of money. More money than the average person will ever see in their life. They donate this money. Donate it. And it's not for nothing. They don't just give them this money. There's a fucking narrative behind it. There's a set rules. They have a meeting in closed doors that is not publicized. We don't see any of this shit. The average person isn't privy to any of this information. And they say, okay, yeah, we will can't help you with your campaign. We'll throw in a bunch of money and you'll get elected. They make sure it happens. They don't fucking waste their money. They didn't get to be rich by wasting money. They do it for a reason. And they make it happen. They make this certain person that they pick get elected. That's why I say our fucking democracy is a sham. And our votes don't even count anymore. It's a shame. Democracy has gone full upside down. We're basically leading towards socialism now, especially here in Canada. But anyways, it's all because of the money and the power. The money corrupts people, and the more money they have, the more corrupt they are, and the more power they get, the more they want. And it's getting bigger and bigger and worse and worse. And this whole corona bullshit is part of that. It has been since the beginning. I said this in the first video, that coronavirus may have even been intentionally created in a lab. I've seen some reports about it, I've watched some videos, I've read some shit, and I'm still on the fence about it. I'm not going to say yes it is, because I don't know. I haven't seen enough fucking proof. Maybe my next video will be about that. And it was all orchestrated in order to create this fear and this need in the society for an answer. This need to tell for the governments and their protectors to say, we got this figured out. All you have to do is this, and you can go back to your new life. All you got to do is shut down your business and go work for Walmart. And make sure you shop at Walmart too. Oh, and Amazon. You got to stay at home and shop on Amazon. And yeah, blah, 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 blah. We'll give you a free money. We'll give you a couple $1,000s to stay at home. How about that? Here's an Amazon gift card. You can stay at home for a while. But meanwhile, that little company you work for, they're going fucking bankrupt. And it's all by design. All this was planned for them to gain even more power than they already have. And it's already ridiculous how much power they have. It's just so far beyond what I can even explain. They run our world. These elites, these corporations that are owned by these elites, they dictate our governments, our laws, our mandates, our whole way of life. Basically, if fucking the internet was to go down, and we lost Amazon, and we lost Facebook, and we lost all this shit just all of a sudden, say some Chinese or fucking nationalist or North Korean or some country that really hates America for good reasons, let me say. But say they set off an EMP up in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, and they fucking took out like 90% of the satellites in the space. That would really disrupt the internet. It would fuck things up. Everything would shut down for a while, including banks. But it would ruin our entire economy, our entire way of living. If it was more than just a day or two, if it went on for weeks or months, there would be pandemonium. People wouldn't be able to access their money. There would be riots, there would be looting, there would be murdering, there would be like all kinds of shit going on. It would be like a post-apocalyptic world if this fucking internet got shut down. The scary part is they run it all. They control it. This is my whole point. These fucking elites that own all these corporations, they control all the information we can see and all the products that we buy and all the stuff that we are told it comes from them, except for independent media sources, which slowly get bought up too. That's another thing. These independent media sources, they come up, they pop up on the internet, YouTube, whatever, there's other streaming platforms. And, you know, they look like real news. It's a guy and a woman sitting behind a desk and they got a big screen behind them and they're like, oh yeah, where were we going to report on this? And they started out legit as fuck. They do. They really do. Because they're people that actually care. They're independent. They're not owned. And they started out doing all this and they're like reporting the real truth that you don't see on the mainstream media. And for a while they're good. For a year or two maybe, you know, it's all good. But eventually they get so big that people really start to pay attention to them. They start making revenue. And as soon as they start making a decent amount of money, they get noticed. They either get bought out by the mainstream. They got offered millions of dollars, basically. Said, hey, we'll take this shit over, but you got to say what we tell you to say. Or they get fucking shut down. They get censored. They get blocked. They get fucking... Their web pages get fucking shut down. They get, you know, all these warnings that you have to cease and desist and blah, blah, blah. And You know, the governments and the courts and shit go after them, and it's all behind the scenes. We don't hear about it all. Sometimes you do. Every once in a while you hear about some of this shit, but it gets leaked out. But usually you don't. Usually it's all covered up, and they're just gone. They're either gone or they completely change their narrative. They change it to what the mainstream is. And it's all to do with money. That's what this video is all about, is the money involved in this whole pandemic and how it's a part of a bigger agenda. A new world order, or you can call it the Great Reset, or you can call it the one world government, oh, there's so many different terms for it, but it's all the same thing. It's basically working towards one entity, which is these rich elites, whatever they call themselves. They used to be called Illuminati at one point, and there's been the Bilderbergs, and there's been all these secret organizations over the fucking centuries. I don't know what the latest one is. I don't even know what they call themselves, but it exists. It's there. And it's all about them gaining absolute control. Not just partial control. Not just buying out fucking politicians and not just buying into big pharma and buying into big tech. That was all setting up what they're going through now. Now it's hit overdrive. And the pandemic has been the perfect fucking excuse for them to just do what they're doing. For them to go in overdrive with this. And I'm rambling now because I just have so much in my brain I don't even know how to get it all out. My mouth doesn't work fast enough. I can't get the words out fast enough. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm probably going to think of more after this, and I'm probably going to make another video, number 3, maybe even number 4. I'm going to keep this going. But actually, I noticed I logged into my YouTube this morning, and I went to see how many views I had in my video, and it's not that many so far, but it was just yesterday. But also, there's a thing attached to the bottom of it for information. Oh, what does it say? I'm going to go back to it here. Go back to my page, my channel here. If I click on my video that I made yesterday, right at the bottom of it, COVID-19 vaccine. Get the latest information from Health Canada. Learn more. They added that to the bottom of my video. I was expecting it. In fact, I'm expecting these videos to get pulled down. I'm expecting to all of a sudden one day go to open my YouTube, and either my channel's been blocked or suspended, or the videos have just been totally censored or gone, just completely gone. I'm expecting it to happen. This is all part of an experiment, actually. I like saying this shit, hope somebody listens to it, but at the same time, it's kind of an experiment for my own knowledge to see what happens if I become an independent news source. You know, I don't expect to get big. I don't expect to have millions of followers, but even if it's just a few hundred people watch my videos, at least I'm getting something out there. It's more about me just getting it out and saying what I have to say to somebody that might listen. That's all it is. And I want to see what happens and where this goes. But anyways, till next time.